Welcome to the lesson. We're going to look at 5 cool funky bass lines from the godfather of soul, James Brown. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the main groove from each of the 5 bass lines and also show you any bridge sections. If you look below this video, you'll see links to some short 60-second playthroughs of all of these songs with the original track. So if you don't know the songs, then you might want to check those out. The first 3 bass lines feature Bootsy Collins, who I'm sure you've heard of. He's a really funky bass player. He plays some incredible lines and he never plays the same groove once. So each time he plays it, he puts slight variations in. He's a really good player to learn funk from. So he played with James Brown in the early 70s. So the first 3 bass lines are from that period of time. And then we're going to look at 2 other bass lines from later on in the 70s. And they've got different bass players. You can get all the 5 James Brown bass lines from this lesson in a free PDF in standard notation and tab. Just go below this video in the description, fill out your details and you get that. So that's really handy for the lesson and for practicing all the tunes. Make sure that you subscribe to my Greg's Bass Shed channel right now. You can click the red subscribe button and if you click the bell you'll get notified as soon as I release a new Greg's Bass Shed video lesson. The first tune we're going to look at is Sex Machine, or the full title is Get Up I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine, and that was released in 1970. Now, like I said, all these James Brown bass lines, the groove never stays the same. I remember really struggling to learn a bass line for this years ago when I had to play it for a gig. What I recommend you do when you're playing bass lines that change all the time is learn a standard riff or a groove that kind of works and then put variations in. And you can get those variations from the original bass line. But don't try to learn the original bass line all the way through. And it will take you ages. And anyway, when you play it live, you want to kind of put some of you into it. So you're playing the original riff, but putting some of your ideas in and a mixture of ideas from the original track as well. So what I'm going to do for Sex Machine is I'm going to show you a 2-bar loop that you can use round and round and then put some variations in. This groove starts on E flat, so 6th fret of the A string, little finger I use, and then down to D flat, the 4th fret of the A string. Okay, so that's the basic riff. And at the end of each bar we've got a slight variation. Okay, that's all on 4th and 6th frets on the A and the E string. Now some of you might want to use your 3rd finger, and that's fine, but I prefer using my little finger. Okay, so that's that first bar. Okay, make sure you don't swing it. Okay, when you're playing it fast there's a tendency to do that. It's quite a tricky bass line actually, so just try that first bar with me. 3, 4. Okay, got to speed it up. Okay, but work on it slowly. And then the second bar of the groove. Okay, so that's the same, but we're just using the higher octave for the E flat for the second note. Instead of doing, okay, I have to go quite fast back down to the D flat. And then there, we're just playing 2 E flats, and then that same riff again. So that bar, okay. Okay, try it with me. 3, 4. So that's just repeating that second bar. So we'll try, we'll just play bars 1 and 2 and then repeat it again. Okay, we'll do it slowly. 3, 4. Okay, and then there's a bridge section. Okay, so that's a string higher, and we've got A flats to G flats. And then E flat, G flat, G, up to A flat again. There's a muted note there, so okay, so just play that. I've written it on the G, but just kind of put all your fingers down on the strings. And then same as the intro, we've got, okay, so that's on A flats. B flat, D flat, E flat. Okay, so that's the first bass line. Now, that's probably the hardest one in the lesson. It's really hard to groove that one and really lock in with the drums, not go out of time and not swing it. Okay, so that's actually a really tricky one. Tune number 2 is Soul Power. Now, this again features Bootsy Collins and was released in 1971. It's got a 2-bar loop again, and I'll play that for you now. Okay, so we're kind of going up to D. Okay, it's based around D, but we start on the C. C, D, D, and then we've got F, A, C, D. Okay, I'll use the open A, it's much easier. So C, D, D, F, A, C, D. Okay. Boo-doo-doo, ba-doo-doo-doo. Boo-doo-doo, do-doo-doo-doo. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, so try that with me. 3, 4. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And then we've got do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, and that time we've got D, F, A, C, C sharp to D. Okay, so the first time, second time. Okay. So we'll just loop that first bar. 3, 4. Okay, so halfway through the bar you've got boo doo 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 doo, boo doo 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 doo, doo 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 doo. Do 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 do. So I'm beating eighth notes. Boo do 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 do. 1, 2, ba da do do do. Okay. Boo do 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 do. 1, 2, do 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 do. So you can count 1, 2 in between, just so you can place that next note, that D. 1, 2. 1, 2. And then the second bar just on D's. And we've got that high D. Now that's a bit of a funny rhythm. Ba 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 ba. Okay, make sure you don't place that last note early. So do 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 do. Okay, so I'll just loop the those 2 bars. Join with me if you want to. 3, 4. Okay, so you have to shift. You play in this position here. And at some point shift in that bar because you're going to play the high D. And then back with first finger on C. So just shift somewhere in the second bar to get ready for that high octave. And then we've got a bridge section. The usual Take It to the Bridge from James Brown. And so... Okay, that's just on G. High G here on the 5th fret of the D string, and then down to this low G, an octave low on the 3rd fret of the E string. Make sure you push that last note. Okay. Da 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 da. Okay, so this is a good one to listen to with the track. It's quite hard to kind of isolate that rhythm without the track. But that's just based on G, so you can look at that on the PDF and have a listen to the track. Remember that you can pick up the free PDF for this lesson below in the description, and also you'll find a link there to the first 150 PDFs in a booklet. You can purchase that, and that saves you time downloading all the free individual PDFs. The third James Brown bass line we're going to look at is Talking Loud and Saying Nothing. This was released in 1973 and again features Bootsy Collins on bass. Now there's a basic 2-bar riff, but it kind of changes slightly at the end of each 2 bars. For this one, start on E flat on the 6th fret of the E string, but with your 2nd finger, because we're going to plan to do these. Okay, so that's a kind of, it's kind of blues shape there. That's root, major 3rd, 5th, 6th octave, okay, for this pattern. Okay. We're just going to loop that round and round. Try it with me. So 2nd finger on the 6th fret of the A string, E flat. 3, 4. And the 2nd bar. Okay. So same notes again. It's really easy to swing it. Okay, but it's okay. You kind of swing that. Not bum. Okay, so it's easy to slip into that. So I'll play the first 2 bars and loop them. 3, 4. And then bars 3 and 4, the same to start with. Okay. Okay, it doesn't really, it maybe plays a kind of muted note on the 3rd one. Okay, last bar. So you've got that kind of open A before you play the E flat again. Sounds weird when you play it long, but short. Okay. Okay, so coming down. So I'll play bars 3 and 4. 3, 4. Okay. So the whole thing, those first 4 bars. 3, 4. Okay, and then we've got this bridge section. It's quite tough, this. It's just playing all those 16th notes. It's not actually kind of left hand, it's the right hand really, it's tricky. But we do a kind of root 5th octave pattern. So E flat, B flat, E flat. And then back to B flat, E flat, B flat. Okay. And then A flat, B flat, B flat, D flat, D, E flat. There's a kind of awkward shift there, so it's actually hard to play at speed. Okay, so try that one. So again, this bridge section is probably the sort of 2nd hardest bit, I reckon, out of all these bass lines, so you might have to work on that a bit. The fourth tune we're going to look at is Bodyheat. That was released in 1976. Now, this isn't Bootsy, it's another bass player called Charles Sorrell. I think that's how you pronounce his name anyway. It's Sherrel. Now, he played with artists like Aretha Franklin, Al Green, Maceo Parker. And he played on lots of the hits in the kind of later 70s that James Brown brought out. This is a nice groove. It's quite syncopated, which means it's kind of offbeat. I'll play that for you now. It's not too tricky. It's 2 bars long. Now this is in E flat, a favourite key I think of James Brown. So again, we start with a little finger on E flat, the 6th fret of the A string, and we're going to kind of do E flat, D flat, C, B flat. Okay. Okay, we've got this pattern. Okay, bum, 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 bum. Okay, so when we play the second bar, we've got nothing on beat 1. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and we've got this pickup: B flat, D flat, back to E flat. Do, 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 do. Kind of sounds like a Michael Jackson kind of bass line actually. So try that through with me. 3, 4. Okay, and then we've got this kind of link into the bridge. Okay, that reminds me of something else, Fleetwood Mac tune, I think. So whatever the name of that tune is. So we've got a bar of 2/4. So E flat to G flat. So if we leave out that D flat, we've got. That's just a minor blues scale. You could play the G flat here. So, but we're playing it here, and we played the D flat before it. Okay, so do 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 do, and then the bridge is just 1 bar long. We're kind of doing sort of G flat to A, okay, stretching there. Kind of, it's a kind of F sharp really, F sharp to A and C sharp to E. So you've got all this down on the PDF. So again, have a listen to the original or listen to my 60-second videos. But it's the main riff really that I wanted to show you for that tune. The 5th and last James Brown tune we're going to look at is Get Up Off of That Thing, and this was released in 1976. Now, I didn't know this, but when I researched it for this lesson, it's Will Lee playing bass. I didn't even know he played with James Brown, so that was a bit of a surprise. Yeah, he's on this track. It's a really nice bass line, and again, it just kind of varies each time that Will Lee plays it round. Now, it's in a bit of a funny kind of key. It's between F sharp and G. I think what they used to do sometimes is speed the track up just to give it a little bit more energy. So it's kind of like in between. So I've written it in G, but if you want to play it with the original, you might need to just drop your strings slightly, not a whole half step, but just a tiny sort of a quarter of a tone. So yeah, it's a bit kind of off. You'll hear that when you play through with the original. This is in G, and again it's a kind of blues riff here. Okay, they're the notes we're using. So we're using kind of root, major third, 5th, 6th, 7th, flat 7th. So, okay, so there are our notes, okay. So it's quite important what notes you play long and what notes you play short. So long, short. Okay, short one at the end of the bar as well. So then we've got an F sharp there, okay. Okay, try and play it through with me. So you're just using kind of second finger on G, and then we've got first finger on B, last finger on E, and then first finger on E, second finger on F, and then when we play the G we've got a little finger, okay? Try that with me, 3, 4. Okay, then the second half of this, so bars 3 and 4, start the same. Okay, those bits are C to D, hammer on, F to G, hammer on, and then B flat or A sharp, G. Okay. Okay, so I'll play bars 3 and 4 a bit slower. 3, 4. Okay, so I'll just play the whole lot for you again. 3, 4. Well, that finishes this 5 classic James Brown bass lines lesson. I hope you enjoyed my choice of tunes. There's so many James Brown tunes to choose from. And I've also decided I'm going to make an exclusive Bootsy Collins video lesson in the future to feature some of his other bass lines. So let me know how you got on in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you got on with his bass lines, and if you've got any other favourites of James Brown or Bootsy Collins that you'd like me to look at. Don't forget to like and to share this video, that really helps me out. And also to subscribe to my Greg's Bass Shed channel here on YouTube by clicking the red subscribe button and click the bell. If you felt that you got value out of this lesson, you can always buy me a $5 coffee. The details are here on the screen, or if you go below, you can click on a link there. And that just helps to keep all these YouTube PDFs and videos free for everyone. You can also check out my website, which is gbshed.com. I've got loads of stuff there, loads more free bass resources. I've got video courses, my blues course, my Walkin jazz course, my reading music course. I've also got some bass books over there, some merch. You can get this t-shirt and other designs. So go and take a look. That's gbshed.com. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. Hopefully I'll see you very soon in the next video.